And welcome, it's back. It's back again one more time. And for till whenever I get tired or die, the early morning Sunday show. Thanks for joining me today. It's such an early time in the morning, unless you're not in the US. If you're out on the West Coast, then it's like, well, welcome to the midnight show or whatever. The opening that was last weekend. Took the son to see my grandson to see Thomas the Train. I took my son too. Yeah, that was exciting. I mean, it actually was kind of fun. I've been to that museum before a few years back, but boy, talk about kids everywhere. This event was sold out for a full month straight. Just incredible. Otherwise, beautiful weekend here again in Denver. Seeing fall colors, heading up the mountains. Generally, right now, you wouldn't really be heading to the mountains, I guess, but it's been so nice that there is some snow on top of them. But for the most part, it's just nice warm weather, so why not? But we're going to get going here. We got the newest thing from Jesus and Mary chain. I decided to get that thing and was happily surprised. Some space rock, VCLT, a couple others, just little different albums that, I gave it a shot. Yeah, these are those things where you buy and then you didn't really need it, but I guess you could say about any record. Did I really need it? Probably not. But let's start with some VCLT that came in. This is from Trish. DJ Trish is her channel. DJ Trish. And she sent me 2 of her mixtapes. And she goes, here are 2 mixes. The dinner time mix is a mix I made for I made for an event I DJ'd last year, and every year I make a summer mix to give to my friends that still dig CD mixes, which I do dig CD mixes, Trish. Thank you very much. Also include our stickers, and page 2, there's info about my club. If you would post up in a record store and talk about people. And this club's really interesting. So what Trish is doing here is she has the Jersey Shore Mix Club. Jersey Shore Mix Club. No membership fees. All you have to do is pay postage. And what it is to connect with CD mix makers and share your love of music. Make new friends. Send and receive cool CD mixes in the mail. So here's how it works. Every month you will get an email giving you the name and address of someone to make a mix for. You make a mix to them and mail it out. And to sign up, you send to djtrishm@gmail.com. And there's the address. If you enjoy making mixes, this is great. I don't have the equipment to even make a freaking mix. My CDs I play in my vehicle. I got a little boom box I play on. But this is really neat. Trish, that's really cool, and I hope people take advantage of this. She also has a music blog you can check out. It's Mixtape. And there's her music blog. So, if you enjoy mixtapes, and that's something you like to do, why don't you do that with DJ Trish? Again, you'll share your music with someone different every month. I think that's pretty neat. So here's dinner music Trish gave, and track listings on there. This is what we're going to have dinner to. And there's no Mozart. We got Hand in Hand, McCartney, Sunshine Girls, Airport, The Motors. Michelle Shock's on here. It's a Beautiful Day. Jimmy Buffett. Stick Figure featuring Slightly Stupid. All right. Christopher Cross, Valerie, Chris Rea, and Sandpipers, Tom Jones, Walter Egan. Very interesting. Dinner music. We have that. And then, of course, her beach party mix. And every summer she sends these. I have a nice pile of DJ Trish CDs that I keep. And there's your track listing on that. And you got Beach Boys, you got Eddie Aquati, I don't know, Fleetwood Mac's on here, Johnny Clegg, Kunta Kinte, Manu Dibango, Diamonds, Peter Tosh, Roots Underground, Toots the Mail. I mean, it's just a normal Trish with everything. I mean, she's extremely eclectic in her music. Pretty incredible, really. So please check out her channel, DJ Trish. She goes around the Jersey Shore. She interviews, talks with people. Really, really nice person. Well, I should. Russ, if you're watching, we got Russ Walker the Talker mug. So there you go. My friend Russ, we've worked together for many years. He now has a farm. He's farming, and he's a gentleman farmer, that sells his beef, and I clean pools. We both left the company this last year. All right, so let's get into this music here, okay? So thank you, DJ Trish. And we're going to start with, this is the newest one from Jesus and Mary Chain, and I got Jesus and I got this on Fuzz Club. And this Jesus Mary Chain started in Scotland in '83, broke up in '99, reformed again in '07. It is the group of Jim and William Reed. And really, when you think about it, they were one of the key groups in the development of shoegaze and noise rock. That's what they were doing, the whole droning aspect, big part of it. I mean, obviously John Cale was, and others were a part, but they really put this thing together. You know, after high school, they spent 5 years on the dole. They were lazy. They didn't want to do anything, nothing interested. They bought some very beat up old instruments and just laid in their room and tried to figure it out, and actually wound up writing some songs. And out came, Cycle Candy. Pretty amazing, really amazing. This here is, when they first started, too, the names of the groups that was, what was it? Poppy Seed was one of the names that they were going by, and then Death of Joey. But they wound up with Jesus and Mary Chain, which they've always been very coy about where that name came from. There's rumors and stuff, but nobody really knows. It was actually their last gig in 1999. Their very last gig they did was in Boston. And the band had been, the William brothers were fighting. Can you believe two brothers in a band fighting? I mean, wow, what's the chance of that one happening? Well, they were. And so I think one had already left. Well, they wound up, they're in Boston, and their booking promoter ran off with all the money, took all the money with them, and these guys, they went to a bar and got to a fight with the cast of Riverdance. Wouldn't you like to see that? I remember the Riverdance, they started kind of hopping around and then kind of punching like a kangaroo or something. Except when you do the Riverdance, you can't use your arms. So, do they just have to kick you? I don't know. But they had a fight with Riverdance. So, I found that extremely humorous. So, Glasgow Eyes. This came out in 2024. That would make it came out this year. For those of you that are a little confused on when it is, generally that's me. And it comes in a beautiful red, Go Big Red. Let's give Nebraska their call. And, yeah, inner sleep. So, in here, sometimes I get worried when groups are old now and putting out albums. I'm always leery. I just am. You know what? Is it going to be fresh? Is it going to be new? What do we got going on here? Or is it just going to be kind of, wow, that was kind of boring. But I was very happy with this. This is a wonderful album, very good. And these songs, which usually these songs, they dig into their past and they look at the ugly parts of their past, not the good stuff. Let's get into the ugly parts of it, with their disagreements, with their fights, their drugs, and just about in desolation. Yeah, that's what it's about. So happy, joy music here. Something to dance to. This is, there's just some great grungy guitars, and they have synths in here, but they really nice use of the synths, so they're not overbearing. You have the slow motion ballad on here. What's it called? Pure poor. And it has traces, if you listen, there's traces of avant-garde jazz because the Reed brothers, Jim and William, they've been listening to a lot of avant-garde jazz lately. And so they incorporate a little bit. There is this song called JAMOCD, which I believe is Jesus and Mary Chang OD. I think it is. But it's a great rocker. There's some really neat synthesizers in there. Again, not overwhelming. American Born was a really catchy tune. Has these great hooks. And then you had the Eagles and the Beatles. And this, they have this lyric, I was rolling with the Stones, Keith and Mick and Charlie too. It was just, it has these catchy hooks. The lyrics, really simplistic. I mean, they did not put a lot to the lyrics, like we got to come up with something, but the freaking hooks is really, really neat on there. Yeah, this was a good album. I really enjoyed this thing. Glasgow Eyes. Yeah, well worth picking up, the Jesus and Mary chain. And with that, I was in a record store and I saw this. And it is the Jesus Mary Chain Bobbed Wire Kisses, the B-sides and more. Not only the B-sides, but there's more to it. 1972, whatever that is, and anything else in here. Sometimes you get a, let's see, and I am seeing zero else. Okay, that's it. That's it. All right. So what we got here is, this came out in 1988. This is a reissue from 2013, and it just looks at the B-sides from Jesus and Mary Chain. But it's really kind of cool because they do these just different singles on here. We have from the Beach Boys, Kill Surf City, they do, and Surfin' USA. It is not your typical Beach Boys sound, man. It's very, very good. They like do a Bo Diddley song on here. Oh man, was it who do you love? Yeah, who do you love from Bo Diddley? Just they give it the Mary Chain look. They do Can's Mushroom. They do have Psycho Candy on here, which was really neat to to have that on it. Yeah, it's just a lot of covers, and this is a fun album just to hear how they take a song and kind of warp it. So yeah, great stuff from Jesus and Mary Chain. Then we move over. Let's move over here to the next thing and get a drink. And we have, this is from Steve Bender. I showed these a while back. Finally had a chance to really sit and digest them. It's King Buffalo. And Steve the Zonkman, Steve and Sherry Bender, Mr. and Mrs. Zonkman, they sent me 3 King Buffalo. And, he had sent me a King Buffalo a while back, and I fell in love with that album. I've yet to put it away. It's still out because I played a lot and really enjoyed it, but they're hard to find because they self-produce them. So he helped me out and sent me 3 King Buffalo albums. And he is the biggest fan. He's talked about him for years. So here's the first one, King Buffalo, Longing to Be the Mountain. Now, again, this group's from Rochester. They formed in 2012. heavy psych, stoner rock, and you know, they put out 4 EPs and 5 albums. One of these is considered in Discogs as an EP, but it seems like a full album to me. I don't know. But there's a lot of sound that comes from this group, and it's only a trio. And they kind of meld progressive with when they meld like progressive rhythms and drifting atmospheres, and then just these gritty guitars. They put it all together in there. It's kind of the space rock thing. So this one is 6 tracks, Longing to Be a Mountain. And oh man, I think it came out in 2018, if I remember right. And it's filled with these infectious guitars. Great vocals are happening on here, and just a solid rhythm section going on. Really cool album. There's the song Quickening, which I really liked. It has these heavier riffs and really hard psych happening on that one. Great tune. Sun Shivers was another one that kind of stuck out, with has just these wonderful vocal melodies. What's happening? I just thought the vocals were super on that. There's just great spacey hard rocking jams on this. Really good stuff. Vinyl, it is in, isn't that pretty spacey, cool vinyl there. Very, very nice. And nothing special on the inner sleeve. And I have a wonderful letter in there from Stephen Sherry. Then, they consider this as an EP, but to me it's a full-length album. And it's Death Star 2020. And this, I mean, what is Death Star? It came out in 2020. I guess it is Death Star 2020. Pretty cool artwork on there. And here, yeah, this jumps between space rock and ambient drone, but there's this heaviness in there, and a fascinating album. It has kind of a feel of a spacier Pink Floyd, spacier and much harder sounding Pink Floyd. Red Star Part 1 and Red Star Part 2 are 2 of the songs. Very hypnotic. It has this, especially like Red Star 1, it has this hypnotic bass, just the steady drum beat that starts off, and just cosmic keys happening. I mean, it's really, really kind of trippy. Very spacey. Then the vocals come in, and eventually it's filled with swirling fuzz guitars. So it just builds and builds, and then these guitars explode in there, and it goes on for 10 minutes. It's just fun. It's just, yeah, what a song. Then they have a part 2, which is faster, has more spacey type lyrics in there. The album, it's a concept. It's about a dying star. Now, I don't know how you can write an album about a dying star. I don't know how that, you just sit there and go, well, here's how it works. Beats me. I mean, and maybe you're getting a little, tripped out or something, and it all comes to you. I don't know. But I can tell you this. I liked it a lot. And we got some more red vinyl. This is just Nebraska Cornhusker Vinyl Wheat. More big red. That's kind of a cherry red going on there. So, yeah, Death Star, 2020. Then the third one, King Buffalo Acheron, Acheron. Look at that album cover. Again, really neat. This was recorded in a place called Howe Caverns in upstate New York. And in fact, on the first track and a few others, you can hear the waterfalls in there. That becomes part of it. But they had this subterranean river that was flowing by them. How cool is that? This is filled with slow, trippy grooves, and it kind of shifts into these long jams. And again, it's Pink Floyd, but heavier is what you get off of it. We got that. It matches the album cover. Some nice purple on there. And yeah, look at that. Isn't that's just, yeah, very cool. This is just great fun. Yeah, I do big fan of Pink Floyd. I've always said I'm not a big prog fan, but this is the kind where I would tend to drift into. You know, more of the space rocky prog, I guess. So really neat. Really liked it. Steve, Sherry, thank you so much. That's very kind of you. Absolutely great albums. Wonderful stuff. So big fan, King Buffalo.
Little star, keep your head down. How the dark comes down.
Let's move into here. We have this is Matthew Street. Matthew Sweet. Matthew Street has his own channel, the biggest Beatles fan in the world. Check it out. But this is Matthew Sweet, and I'm a fan of Girlfriend's one of my favorite albums. So I saw this. This was the album, his second album that he did right before Girlfriend. You know, he's from Lincoln, Nebraska. Go Big Red. And born in '64, still making music. His first name's really Sydney. It's Sydney Matthew Sweet, but Matthew Sweet does sound better. I'll give him that. You know, after he graduated from high school, he moved to go to college in Athens, Georgia. And so he's there in the early 80s, and he formed a duo, a group called Community Trolls with Michael Stipe. So that's kind of neat. Him and Michael were hanging out, and he's hanging out with everyone else in the Athens scene. So he was a big part of it. Nothing on the inside as far as a special inner sleeve, A&M Records. So in '86, he had his debut album, had good critical praise, but did nothing. '89, he came out with this. This is called Earth. This didn't do anything either. A&M broke up with him. His wife broke up with him. Everything kind of came apart. We found another record company in 1990 and put out Girlfriend, and then could go to A&M because that thing shot off. It showed the power of Matthew Sweet. So this album here, though, it's Richard Lloyd and Robert Quinn play on here. There's some star power. Backing vocals, Kate Pearson and Trip Shakespeare on backing vocals. So, yeah, again, he had some great friends out there that were helping him with this. Just it didn't go anywhere. And it's kind of because it's really glossy. There's this 80s synth happening in there. You know, there's great guitar work going, some cool chords in that, but there's just a heavy dose of 80s kind of synth going on, almost like a synth pop. And it just takes it away. Also, he uses synthesized rhythm percussion. So, you know, he just has that track happening. And to me, it gets annoying, okay? Maybe that's the best way to do it. It's still in the shrink. How about that? And it originally came out at $9.49 when it came out back in '89, and now it's only $12. This has not done well in the record market, but saw it, gave it a shot. Okay. I mean, it's okay. Not blown away. It would never, if I eventually purging, it may go. I don't know, but it was nice to hear what he was doing. Just really synthy.
Does this mean I'll have to stop pretending that I'm not scared of heights? 'Cause there's a mountain inside of you. My vision, I swear it's true. Will never touch you like I do. Oh no.
Orchestrated Maneuvers in the Dark. This is a Netherlands pressing. I don't need that on there, from 1981. And I'd shown an OMD, and everyone said, you need to get more of their stuff, because I was happy with the one I had. That's all I need. And immediately everyone goes, well, you need more. So due to peer pressure of the VC, I bought this. And this is their third album, came out in 1981. And we got a little there and there for those of you that want to see an inner sleeve. And yeah, and look, see? It goes, ooh, wow, yeah, neat, little cutout. So, you know, OMD, electronics, synth pop, new wave, formed in 78, broke up in 96, reformed in 06. Everyone seemed to reform in 06 in the UK. Andy McCluskey and Paul Humphreys were the two main people. They were childhood friends. They got to know each other in elementary school and stayed friends through the whole time. They got caught up in the punk explosion when that was happening, but they came up with their name, Orchestrated Maneuvers in the Dark, because I think it was Andy, he had a board in his room with all these lyrics and different words, and Orchestrated Maneuvers in the Dark was on there, OMD. So they chose that because they thought it was the least punk sounding name there was. They did not want to sound like a punk band when they were making this. It was 78, punk was already going on the way out. They wanted to do something different. They, of course, went into wearing ties and looking nice. This album really is their first real foray into getting into the synth pop, is what you're feeling. Architecture and Morality is the name of the album, came out in 1981. And like I said, it's the third album. They had 3 hits on here. I didn't know any of them because I guess they weren't hits in the U.S., but there was Souvenir, Joan of Arc, and there's Joan of Arc, Maid of Orleans. Both of those, Joan of Arc and Joan of Arc, Maid of Orleans, became kind of hits. I really like the song She's Leaving. I thought that was really good. It was the second one on there. It's a nice pop gem. It had a fun sound to it on there. We have, the band really, they took a new direction when they came out with this, and they found success. This gave them what they were looking for, and it ushered in the 80s. Okay, we're in 81. Now music's changing again, and this is a big part of it. Their influence for this was Kraftwerk and Brian Eno. And yeah, it's all over this. All over this. And that was their inspiration. And really, synth pop, was taken off now, big part of it, Orchestrated Maneuvers in the Dark. So for those of you that shamed me into getting more Orchestrated Maneuvers in the Dark, hey, I did it, and I like this one, and I'm sure there's other ones out there. I'm not buying their whole discography. Not happening, but I enjoyed this.
No more dreams. She didn't tell. She watched her eyes on this whole
That's what we got for this week. As always, thank you for coming in, hanging out. I got a room tour coming up. Look, I got a bunch of pictures. I got more pictures on this side. I think I'm done. Excuse me. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I think I'm done. And I just have to tidy it up a little bit and probably do a room tour maybe next week. And that'll be fun to see what we've done with this. So thank you for joining me, and have yourself a wonderful week. Bye.